start the recording, compress that thing. You know that there are 4 trig questions on the test.
Yep.
And they're all simple trig questions. None of them are hard at all. See if I can blow that up just a little bit. What's the cosine of n?
12, 13.
Yeah. They're not maybe all this easy, but they're not a great deal harder than that. All right, let's see. I won't open up my drawing pad until I need to here. So this chord AB, hold on, chord AB passes through the center. The radius OC is perpendicular to AB. Okay, so the radius is 7. What's the length of BC?
Isn't it just, I thought it would be the square root of 7, but I don't think that's right.
You're close. Here, let me bring up my new drawing program, Windows Journal. This is what I used to use. So here's the drawing, the picture, or rather the triangle. And the dimensions on that triangle are 7 and 7, right? Because all radiuses are equal. And OD is a radius and OC is a radius. So to answer what this hypotenuse is, you can do it 2 ways. You can do the Pythagorean theorem, but I would prefer you to use the unit 45-45. That's a 45-45 triangle because these 2 sides are the same. What are the dimensions on the unit? 1, 1, what?
I thought it was square root of 1.
Square root of 2.
Root of 2.
Right? I mean, even using the Pythagorean theorem, it's the square root of 2.
Yeah.
So, if we look at this as a similar triangle to that, it's the similarity ratio.
1 to square root of 2?
No. 7 to 1. When you're figuring out a similarity ratio,
you
figure out the corresponding side versus the other corresponding side. Well, this side is corresponding to the 1. So the similarity ratio is 7 to 1. Every side on this triangle has to be 7 times every side on that triangle. So what's the hypotenuse?
Is it just 7 root 2?
Yeah, exactly. Now, they don't have that answer on there, but they have a number that is equal to 7 root 2. What's it going to be?
Is it 9.9?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I didn't do it on a calculator, but 7 times root 2, it's a good thing to know that root 2 is 1.4 approximately. So 7 times 1.4, the only answer it could possibly be is 9.9. All right, let me figure out how to do this. Let's see. I want to close that page out and open 354. Tell you what, Windows 10, whoever created Windows 10, they should be shot.
They made it for more of the tablet computers than the actual.
Well, that's true. I mean, I've figured out that they are trying to make everything look the same. Whether you have a phone, a tablet, or a PC, you're going to see this tile structure. But it takes me so many more mouse clicks to do a problem. I can't believe it. Can you read that? 26.
Yeah.
So if I have F equals 9/5 times C plus 32, and they give you the Celsius temperature, what is the Celsius temperature? It's equal to 86. So how do I solve that? To the next line.
Would you just solve for C? So put 86 for F.
Yeah, in other words, it's a little easier if you go ahead and fill in F, and now you're solving for C. Okay, so let's, first step, subtract 32. So we have 54 equals 9/5 C. How do I solve for C?
Multiply by 5/9.
Correct. Always multiply by the reciprocal, and you can see why that gets rid of the 9/5. 5 cancels with that, that 9 cancels with that. So whatever 5/9 of 54 degrees is, well, what do you suppose the answer is?
30.
It's the only one. We don't even have to bring out our calculators. It's some number less than 54. And it's amazing how many problems on the test are like this. They really do not give an edge to a calculator. And it would actually be a mistake to waste the time figuring out what 5/9 of 54 is. So all you have to do is look at the answers, and you know the answer has to be 30.
This one, it gives an advantage to calculators.
The next one, yes it does. And it might be the only one or one of the few problems on there that it does give an advantage to calculators. So how do I set it up? What's the equation? You can go ahead and fill in stuff.
I just did 1435 divided by parentheses 50 times 25.
Yeah. And you're right. That does give an advantage to calculators. This is one of the few questions that actually does. So what do you get when you divide that?
11.48.
All you need, 11 point anything. Notice the answers.
Yeah.
Between 11 and 12. Okay, 28. So here, let me draw the triangle. Angle D is the angle they're talking about. And they want EF. And they tell you that the tangent of D is equal to 5/8. So, give me an equation that I can solve.
So, can't you just make it a dual fraction, like 5/8 is equal to x over 42?
There you go. There's my equation. In other words, I kind of like you to get into a habit of making equations and solving them. And so the equation you come up with here is the tangent of D equals EF divided by 42, right? And they've told us the tangent of D is 5/8. So now there's my equation. So EF is going to be 5/8 of 42. Again, look at your answers. Don't need a calculator.
Yeah, it would just be 26.
Has to be. And that makes sense. 5/8 of 42 is about 26. Now, let's see if I can do this the easy way. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Let's see. Open that up and take that one down. Snap left on that. Open that up there. Alright. Hold on a moment. I don't see my... just a second. Let me snap that. Oh boy. Hold on. I'm going to put that on the right. There we go. Now at least I have access to the back key. Can you see that?
Yep.
So you have to really be able to see that. Let me blow it up a little bit more. There we go. So how many sophomores are there?
30.
How many total students are there?
320.
Yeah. What's that fraction?
3/32.
That's all there is to that. This one's a little bit tricky. Not tough, but a little tricky. Draw the line here. They love these problems on the ACT, where you have line segments. What have they told us? WY is 26, and the WZ is 44.
And then WX.
Oh yeah.
WX is 22. So it's K. It's the answer's K.
Let's see. X is the midpoint of WZ.
So it's 22, and then 26 minus 22 is 4.
Right. So 4 is the answer. You're right. Well, no, hold on. This segment is 18, is it not? Where am I going wrong here? Hold on a second. Let's see. WZ, they don't give it. Yeah, it's 44. They say X is the midpoint. Oh, they give you WY, which is 26. And so that's 18. How do you get 4? Ah, now I get it. Now I get it. Now I get it.
Okay.
In other words, it's 26, which makes that 22. And that has to be 22. Okay.
I really just did 26 minus 22. And then I got 4.
Which is the proper way to do it. That's a fine way to do it.
I'm probably only going to do half an hour today because I have ACT prep tonight.
That's fine. No problem at all.
And that class is like, you like tells us strategies, then we take full tests. And I've been taking like full tests.
Yeah.
And I've been looking like 3 or 4 of them in the entire full test. So that's really good compared to everyone else in that class.
Yeah, no, I would think you would do pretty good on this test.
It's just like in the readings and stuff, when it says the answer is not that, then I have problems.
Okay.
It's just when the question is a not question. So if you read everything.
Okay. So what's the x-coordinate when these two lines intersect? How are we going to figure this out? I'll give you a hint. I'll write it like this.
Do you just solve for y on the bottom one and then plug it y into...
Well, it's actually a little easier to solve two equations by elimination if they're in standard format, and both of these are in standard format. So how do I eliminate a variable? What's the easiest way to eliminate a variable? And it doesn't really matter whether we eliminate x or y. It does ask for x. So if I can eliminate y, I can save myself a step. What would I have to do to eliminate y? This is equation number 1. This is equation number 2. What can I multiply equation number 2 by?
3?
Let's do negative 3.
Oh yeah, negative 3.
Because that'll make it minus 15x minus 3y equals minus 21. So that's my new equation 2. Now you can add equation 1 to equation 2, and what do you get?
Negative 13x equals 13?
Negative 13.
Oh yeah, negative 13.
Adding 8 to a negative 21.
So the answer is C.
Correct. And they do, I noticed I was working with another student the other day, and they tend to have one of these questions at least on the test, where they give you 2 equations and 2 unknowns, and you need to work it out. Trying to think if there's any other way to do this problem. You could almost back solve it.
You could just use substitution.
It's hard to back solve because you can't work with just an x value. If it said what was x and y, then I could go through each of the answers and see if the x and y value satisfies that equation and satisfies that equation. But it's difficult to do anything but just solve that. So remember how to... You could use substitution, but substitution is actually more work if they're in standard format, because you have to, the first step is to solve one of the equations for y and then substitute it. But that's actually more work, I think, than using elimination. I've always found elimination to be by far the easier method when they're in standard format. In other words, had they given us the second equation as y equals 7 minus 5x, different story. Then it's not in standard format. And so then I would probably substitute it. In other words, my next step would be 2x plus 3, and in place of the y, I would write 7 minus 5x. All of that's going to be equal to 8. And now I have 1 equation and 1 unknown. I'll solve for x, and I'll get x equal 1. But always remember that if the equations come in standard format, the easiest way to solve them is going to be by elimination.
Okay.
All right, 32. I'm glad we started in the middle. I wanted to catch some of the tougher questions. So if A is equal to 2B minus 8, what is B equal to?
Okay.
Solve that equation for B.
Yeah, so it's you move 8 over the other side and then divide both sides by 2.
So that's the kind of the answer we're looking for, only it may look slightly different. No? Looks exactly the same, K. In other words, I was thinking maybe they would split that up into 2 fractions so that the answer might look like that. Which you could do. Same answer. All right. Here we have a parallelogram. What's the area of a parallelogram equal to?
Isn't it just base times height?
Correct. So what's the base?
14.
In other words, yeah, this is a parallelogram that's on its side, really. The base is 9 plus 5. So the base is 14, and the key with a parallelogram is its vertical height. And they've given us that also. They've given us this measurement of 12. Why they gave it to us, I'm not sure, because it would have been better if they'd have left it blank, and then you'd at least had to solve this right triangle to get 12, and then you'd plug in 12 for the height. So whatever 14, what is 14 times 12? Is it 168 or 182?
68.
Yep. So 34, these are kind of interesting. These are starting to get a little tougher. X is equal to a minus y plus 3. Then what is x plus y squared equal to? Or x plus y cubed equal to?
Would you just plug that all in? Plus, plug the negative y plus 3.
So let's change this. In other words, let's remove the parentheses. When I remove the parentheses, what's the rest of it here? It's negative y minus 3, for starters.
Oh, okay.
Okay. In other words, you have to distribute that negative sign to both terms. Yeah. Now, to get x plus y, all I have to do is add y to both sides. So I get, there's x plus y, which is equal to minus 3. Now, what's x plus y cubed?
Okay, that's way different than what I would have done.
Okay.
It's 27, but...
That's negative 27.
Oh, yeah.
Minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 3 is minus 27. I don't think there's an easier way to do it. I'm not sure what you would have done.
It's not the easier way of doing it, just the way I was just thinking of doing it.
Yeah. The key for this problem is they're asking about x plus y, so let's try to get the first equation to an x plus y. That's really the secret. Can we make that first equation look like x plus y? And yeah, if we remove the parentheses first and move the y over, we got x plus y. And we have a number on the other side. And that's the key. Okay?
Yep.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Well, good luck. And let's see. Your test is next Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to need your appointment next Wednesday?
I don't, no, because I don't have class that Wednesday either.
Okay. I will talk to you 2 weeks from today.
All right.
All right, Mitch. Good luck on your test.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.